Timmy Joe reviews anything.
Reviewing computer parts on YouTube.
Woo! Gotta be pumped on that, right, Will? Computer parts! Woo!
Oh, yeah.
What's going on, guys? My name's Timmy Joe. I make videos about these things. They're called computers. They're all up on the internet. And today on the program, a treat for me. I don't know so much for you guys, but MSI, yes, that MSI, sent me a brand new GTX 10 RTX 20. No, it's a laptop. It's worth like twice as much as a 2080 Ti, but it's a laptop, which is cool. And it's actually my first laptop review. So we'll start with the coolest feature yet. Boop. Fingerprint Reader. I don't know. Laptops have had those for a while, but it's a pretty good one, actually. It's quite similar to a phone, an Android phone, for how quick it is. And it's a pretty nice aluminum chassis, definitely going after that MacBook kind of crowd there. And it's the P65 Creator 8RE. And that P stands for Prestige.
Prestige. Worldwide. Why?
Putting in the man hours. We put liquid paper on a bee. I don't know why. It died. Little joke for you, if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's the Prestige, so that's what the P stands for, and P65 Creator. And this is definitely going after the video editing and, they show a rendering the airship here, going after the creator, the content creator for sure with this thing. But what's really cool is it's extremely thin and extremely light, 17.9 millimeters and 1.8 kilograms. And I actually am no stranger to MSI's laptops. I own one. It's a gamer, a gaming laptop, and it's from, a generation old now. It's got a 7700 HQ in it. But this thing weighs twice as much and definitely has way less good of specs and is like twice as thick. So we've come, a long way to the kind of hardware you can include in such a small form factor. This thing is extremely light, extremely powerful. It's got an aluminum chassis. It's awesome, and it's definitely going after that MacBook Pro crowd, and as we'll see in a little bit, it's definitely much more cost effective. So there's that. It's pretty nice. So there is a 144 hertz 1080p screen available with a GTX 1070, but that's the upper trim level of this thing. I have the mid tier, which is a GTX 1060 Max Q with 16 gigs of RAM and just a 60 hertz display. And then if you check it out here, actually there is a 1050 variant as well with a little bit lower specs. But running down the line, she's a pretty good. Has a 720p webcam. Let's check that out for some reason. Yeah, Prestige Worldwide. Wide. As well as on the side here, yeah, I know, great picture quality. It's got a Thunderbolt USB-C port, which is really nice. And because this has an NVMe hard drive, but no space in this little chassis for a proper mechanical hard drive, it's nice that you have that Thunderbolt option to add extra storage. It comes with a 512 Kingston NVMe SSD, so it's super quick, but it kind of limits you on the extra storage you can add. A lot of laptops are coming with like terabyte hard drives if they're cheap. Well, at least you have that option to add it. Also has a display port and an HDMI port, so there is quite the options for the, what you can do with this thing. Pretty cool stuff. So how much is it? Because if it's, even if it's good, if it's expensive, it's no good. Well, it's they wanted me to gear towards the Canadian pricing on this, and I will oblige on Amazon. It's where you can find it at its cheapest, and it's $21.99 Canadian, and the upper trim level with 32 gigs of RAM is $3,099. So it can get pretty expensive, but I'm pretty sure that's what a MacBook with half the specs is priced at here in Canada. So it's not bad. You can get a much better graphics card and twice the RAM as a MacBook for around the same price. I think the only thing this thing's lacking on is the screen's only 1080p, and a MacBook's got better resolution than that, but not a big deal. So what is that in the American dollars? Well, it's $21.99 Canadian. It's $13.99 American. Oh my God. In Canada, we do not get great pricing. That is for sure. You pay a tax both for your funny money not being worth as much and just for the privilege of buying technology, it seems, over the United States. Because if you convert that, for what $13.99 is, it's $1,868. So where did that extra money go? That $200, $340 or $30? That's a lot of money extra compared to the pricing in the States. So it kind of, everything is like that here, so I'm not surprised. I'm not blaming MSI, but still, it kind of bugs me. So if you want to talk about video editing performance, because that's what this thing's touted at being good at, well, it edited a 4K video. You didn't even know. A few days ago, I rendered my Viper keyboard review at 4K with this machine. Absolutely runs like a dream. I didn't notice as far as timeline scrubbing and actually using my video editing software that it was any slower than a desktop. But when you went to render it, it obviously takes a lot longer than my Threadripper over here. My Threadripper rendered the same video in about 14 minutes, where this thing took 33 minutes or something like that. So, and that my editing software definitely doesn't take full advantage of the Threadripper systems and all its cores. So, when you render on a laptop, it is going to be a little bit slower, but this thing does keep up quite nicely. So it's not so bad. And then you want to talk about gaming? We can get into some gaming results. Here is Time Spy hitting 3841. Which is a respectable score for a lap notebook, not too bad. And here is the Firestrike score, and you see that graphics score of 11,291. Well, I want to compare it to because this is a 6 gig version of the 1060 Max Q, so keep that in mind. The only other 1060 I've ever reviewed or had him run Firestrike on is a 3 gigabyte model, and you can see 13,948 as a graphics score, and it's 11,000. So it's definitely not even getting to a 3 gigabyte model's desktop version, level of graphics processing power, but it's pretty close. And all in all, that's actually with a quad core. It's doing pretty good to keep up, CPU wise and stuff like that. So it can hang with the big boys. You can game with this thing, and I'll show you some benchmarks here. Apex Legends, all the settings cranked at 1080p. It quite easily broke almost 70 frames a second, so it was pretty good. And there were a little bit of hiccups, specifically in this game online. I don't know what it was. I was running it with a wired connection and everything, but I did see some dropped frames and stuff like that once in a while, but it wasn't like unplayable, and it didn't really affect my experience, but it did make that 1% low a little bit lower than it should be. But jump over to Metro Exodus, and on high, without Hairworks on and a little bit of things turned down a bit, I was able to break 60 frames a second at 1080p, so it can run Metro Exodus, a very powerful game, with this little laptop, not bad at all. And then Resident Evil, like all these games are from 2019, just kind of showing you what it can do. Resident Evil 2 Remake is just at high settings. A few things were lowered, but the way that it does it, it was like it optimizes for the hardware, and it ran beautifully, over 60 frames a second. It looks very, very nice too. So this thing can game and it can video edit. It is not bad at all. So if you want to have a little look, see at the Prestige itself, here we go. It does have this software. It has a little bit of bloatware that comes with it, Norton antivirus being one of them, but you see it has like this Dragon Center, which shows your CPU, GPU usage, stuff like that. And you can move on. You can actually change the shift, which I'm assuming just allows you to get a little bit better battery life if you put it in like Eco, and it will lower the the brightness on the screen and stuff like that. Really nice screen, apparently 100% coverage of the sRGB gamut, so this is great for content creators. You have all these different profiles for them here too, gamer, anti-blue, stuff like that. And then you can blast the fan with Cooler Boost. And this is what it sounds like at 100% speed. Not bad. Well, gaming, it gets sort of near this level of audibility, but it's not bad at all. I've definitely heard louder laptops and louder computers, that's for sure. But that's an extreme, that's the fans at 100%. It doesn't actually get that loud. It takes a second to ramp down. So not bad. Some other things it comes with, some recovery software and some backups, and it kept bugging me in the middle of games to back up to MSI's cloud or something like that. I'd just get rid of all the bloatware, but at least it's there if you want Norton antivirus installed. But here, we'll just show you. I was able to overclock the GPU and run Time Spy. Not bad at 150 plus on the core clock. It was getting it around 1800 megahertz and another 400 on the memory. So you can overclock a laptop GPU pretty nice. And here, we'll do a quick Cinebench run because, you know, you got to do that, obligatory Cinebench run. But this thing boosts on a couple of cores to over 4 gigahertz. But when you put a sustain load on all the cores, that quickly can get pretty low. So as we'll see, we'll just look real quick. It's over 4 gigahertz, 4.1 almost, and then it goes from like 38 to 35 to 33. You know, even in Cinebench, even though it's running it pretty quickly, it'll get to under 3,000 megahertz if you let it. Maybe not so much because I just blasted the fans, but you know, it's running a little bit audible right now. But yeah, see 3,000. Yeah, so it does on all cores when you're putting like a render load on it. It gets kind of slow, but that's to be expected with how thin and light this thing is. It's actually pretty quick, as you'll see, with a 1050 in Cinebench. That is very, very respectable, and the hottest we got on the package was 91 degrees. So a sustained render load, I could hear the thing, you know, from a little bit while away, but nothing too bad. I think it gets a little louder in gaming when you're running both the GPU and the CPU kind of hard. But all in all, like that 1049, that's like stock 7700K performance. So this thing with its extra 2 cores and 4 threads matches the desktop variant of the previous model at, you know, stock speeds. That's pretty damn good in my opinion. So I think that's about it. That covers this little guy. I've really enjoyed working with it. You know, it's something I would consider if I needed to, you know, if I had $2,000 or, you know, if I was looking to buy a powerful computer and, you know, a desktop wasn't an option. This will fit in any bag. It's very nice. It has fairly good battery life. You know, like I said, I you know, can edit a 10-minute, you know, I edited for about 45 minutes straight and rendered my Viper keyboard video on this thing, and it still had well over half the battery, so it does pretty good. You can even video edit on battery for a little bit. I'm not sure about gaming, but you know, you don't usually do that with laptops anyways. But I'm at Watch Timmy Joe on Instagram and Twitter. This has been a review of the P65 Creator 8RE from MSI. I want to thank them for sending it out. And yeah, links are in the description. And I'm at Watch Timmy Joe on Instagram and Twitter. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Poof. And we'll have a good day. See you guys in the next video. Woo!